Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Roy, El Trapo 415. Last time I did one of these, I said maybe I might do it next week, maybe I'm not. Sorry for the time that I was away, but I'm back, and let's get right to it. So, first of all, I'm going to start with local sports. The San Francisco Giants right now is the All-Star break. They're currently in the battle for the final wild card. They're also a couple games back from the Western Division. The Arizona Diamondbacks have surprisingly, they're tied for first place with the team that's dominated the NL West for like damn near the past decade, the Los Angeles Dodgers. And the team that many would have thought, and me as well, considering their crazy stupid payroll, the San Diego Padres, they've yet to hit their stride, and they're bound to go on a hot streak. It's just you can't keep players like Jesus Soto, Manny Machado was warming up, Xander Bogaerts. I don't even know why they went after him, but he should be a live bat. And then you got Fernando Tatis, who, after his year-long suspension or whatnot, his past history will prove otherwise. Like, if they could all get it together at the same time, yeah, they could definitely win a goal undefeated for a whole month. Seriously. That's where the Giants come in. The Giants, surprisingly, this year, I thought they were going to be what they were last year. Last year, this time in the All-Star break, they had a similar record, maybe like 2-3 games difference, but they were above 500. But then in the month of July, they went on a road trip last year to Detroit and Minnesota, and what should have been like a confirmation trip but for the wrong reasons. They just went downhill from there, and despite they needed like a good run at the end of the year to actually finish the season at 500. This year, like I said, I thought they were going to be mediocre because their roster, there's nobody that I felt they could promote. Like before, you had Buster Posey, you had Tim Lincecum, of course you had Barry Bonds, but from this year's squad, who were you going to put? The ace of the squad, Logan Webb. I like that he's a local kid. He grew up loving the Giants, and he likes to play the Killer Whales. That's the name of the song, Andre Nicotina. But seriously, like, who any of you go to another city and you ask them, do you know anybody from the Giants? They'd probably say Barry Bonds or Buster Posey, because that's just how they're a bunch of nameless people. In free agency, they signed Michael Conforto. They signed Mitch Haniger. Right now, he's hurt. But they were supposed to be like the big bats in the middle of the lineup. Conforto, and Jock Peterson, we re-signed him to like a big deal. It was like a 1 year, 17, 19 million. And he hasn't really been producing like on par with the size of his contract. But Conforto, I've been really, I want to say impressed, but I've been pleased with his production at the plate. Even though his batting average is really poor, it's below it's like 240, 250. But when he does connect, he usually connects for big hits. Like I believe he's leading the team in home runs, and he's doing that from the left side of the from the left side. He has his lefty. He's doing all that as a lefty. Mitch Haniger, he got hit in the forearm, so he's probably going to be out for till like the end of the year. But once the players that were in the beginning to be the opening on the main contributors of the Gigantes, the Giants, there was a rookie, Casey Smith. He was brought up, and it's like he lit a fire under the Giants. And, he played great defense. He was hitting, but he's fallen off. In baseball, the pitchers figured him out, and he hasn't adjusted to the big leagues. So, but he did what that energy that he brought, or like the fire or whatever it was, that jolt of energy that he brought up, the Giants ran with it, and they went on like a 10-game winning streak, something they hadn't done in years. They even went down to LA and swept the Dodgers over in the series, and they destroyed them like 16-0. And when they did that, that for me, I already said in my previous post that I believe the Giants are going to make the postseason because they have a great bullpen. But and I still believe that they're going to make the postseason. But the Giants, what they need to stop with this whole baseball. The Tampa Bay never really started it, but they're going with this whole like reliever or whatever the hell the name is, like relief guy, where they have a bullpen game. Normally you have starting pitching, and they, ideally they will go at minimum 5 innings, but preferably 6-7 innings, and then you get your bullpen. But now the Giants, like, they have Logan Webb. They have, congratulations, Alex Cobb, he made the All-Star team, and he well deserved. Him, the other pitcher that they re-signed instead of Kevin Gossman, who's been killing up in Toronto. That's like one of that Fardy Saidi, the Giants vice president, fucked up not re-signing Kevin Gossman. You looked at the computer numbers, but it should always be the eyeball test. Can the pitcher throw? And you let him go, but he was relatively cheap, like 5 years or 6 years, 120 million. Carlos Rodon got like 7 years, 160. Carlos Rodon, he had a history of being hurt. Kevin Gossman, he wasn't hurt. He just you looked at the computer instead of looking on the field. But anywho, Anthony Discafanios, his name escapes me right now, but he's hurt. Alex Wood, he's extremely unreliable, and he's been getting hurt. And then there was two free agent pitchers. There was Sean Manahi and Ross Stripper or Strippers. Anywho, they signed both of those to be either fifth, sixth starting pitchers or relief pitchers, but Stripper got hurt, and Sean Manahi, they're having him come like work 3 innings. Like, that's not gonna work, Giants. Let me just put it out there. That's I've been watching football. Baseball is like sport I grew up like. My family's from Nicaragua. Like, that's our national pastime, and to be having relievers come in and start games for you and expect just to keep going with relievers. I mean, if you go 2-3 games with the look, when you bring in a relief pitcher, they're supposed to be a surprise, right? They're specialists. They throw 1-2 innings. But if a player, like a starting pitcher only pitch once. So the batters, they see him maybe 3 times during the game. That's why they want, you don't want your pitchers, his pitch count to go up. Because then players could see how the release, and then even when they're on deck, they could try to time it correctly. But if you got bullpens coming out every single day, I mean, they're going to get taxed, and it's not something viable long term. So the Giants, they definitely need to acquire. There's a rookie, Kyle Harrison, that there's so much talk about him. Maybe even possibly being like a Madison Bumgarner, a lefty that comes up and becomes like a core of the Giants staff. But they're babying him. Like, if we need pitching, and he's doing it on the AAA level, if we bring him up and he can't throw strikes, we might break his spirit. Well, if that happens, then he's a little biatch and he should just kick rocks and get out of town. Like, this is professional sports, man. You stop babying, calling these motherfuckers. If you guys don't want to pay him, then just say that you guys don't want to pay him and you want to save his arbitration years or whatnot. But the Giants are you're in a playoff hunt. You owe it to the fans, to people like me, that we've won 3 World Series in 5 years, like, and it's been a dry spell lately, like as far as playoff races, and we're in it. Let's do it. Bring up the kid. As far as acquiring pitching, There's a picture of Patrick Corbin. He pitches for the Washington Nationals. Um, his numbers may look bad, but he won the World Series with the Nationals. He used to pitch with for the Diamondbacks. The Nationals gave him a big deal, like 6 years, 144 million. He hasn't lived up to it, but he'll be a solid pitcher because the Giants, where they play, is known as more of a pitcher's ballpark, and he's a left-handed pitcher. And the Giants right now have Logan Webb and Alex Cobb. They're both righties. You toss in Corbin right there, and even if he doesn't pitch more than 4 or 5 innings, well, that's what you guys are regularly doing now. But I believe a change of scenery, playing for an independent race, may bring back something in Corbin that he's been lacking. But he still throws in the high 90s. I don't know about his other pitchers because I don't follow him like that. But that's just my observation because there's a lot of teams still in the playoff race, and with the trade deadline at the end of the month, and players that aren't on the rosters after the waiver wire, like something around August, something like 30th or whatever, they're not eligible for the postseason. So the Niners need to make that move now. All the other players that I hear about, like pitcher for the Cubs, short dude. See, I'm doing this right off the top of my head. His name escapes me. He used to pitch for the Jays. Any pitchers for the Cardinals. They're all going to be like in demand from other teams. But I haven't heard nothing about Patrick Corbin. And yeah, I think the Giants could get him. Trade Joey Bart. Straight up, just Patrick Corbin, Joey Bart. Because Joey Bart, he's not going to be doing it. Shout out to Patrick Bailey, bro. You've solidified that position. The way you frame pitches, the way you catch. You're like a veteran, and you also come through with some timely hitting. You're hitting above 300. Congratulations, bro. You're going to be a Giant for at least another decade, man. And shout out to Luis Matos. He's a natural. Yeah. Him. We keep him in the outfield. I like Yastrzemski, Logan Webb, Lamont Wade. He's a first baseman. He's a leadoff hitter. He draws a lot of walks. He has a good eye. I like him. I like Tyro Estrada. He's underrated. He seems like he's a solid fielder, and he does come up with he has some pop, and he produces. I like him in the playoff series for him to produce. Brandon Crawford, man, I love you, man. You've been a Giant for a minute, but it's obvious that your engine's about to go out, man. But hopefully, you're still good on the field, out in the field, but hitting, it's like your bat must have a hole in it or something like that. But hopefully, I believe in you, Crawford. I believe you'll pick it up. Start third base, J.D. Davis, bro. We acquired him last year. That was a great trade by Farhang. Got him for traded him for a bat. The dude doesn't even play for the New York Mets anymore. But yeah, J.D. Davis, solid fielder, and he produces. He gets hits. Unfortunately, he's hurt, or he hurt himself with his foot sliding. But hopefully that doesn't linger. But I like J.D. Davis. At left field, or that appears to be like the two positions that are in the outfield. Your Shermsky, he's solid there. Austin Slater, they got him out there as left-handed pitchers out there. He's all right coming off the bench, but hopefully Matos, you could take ownership of that position for the next decade, man. I just see you at the plate when you swing. It's just right through the zone, man. Come on, Matos. Marcelo, Papa, Tomalo. And then you got Mitch Haniger. Hopefully, when he recovers, that could be like a like a big trade that we didn't even make. It was internally. He gets healthy, and he was supposed to be a big bat. So if we could just, hold the line down till we're finally healthy all together. The bullpen. Shout out to Camilo Laval. Congratulations, man. He was the winner of the All-Star game. Well deserved. He throws heat. When he came through in the playoffs against the Dodgers, and he was throwing with a slider, even though Buster Posey called so many sliders over and over and over that Cody Bellinger got the hit. The ball developed the third pitch, like a changeup, to go with that slider and the three-digit fastball. It's going to be buenos dias, buenas tardes, buenas noches. 1, 2, 3 innings. And the rest of the bullpen is rock solid. The Twins, the name escapes me right now. But yeah, one of the Rogers, the Rogers twins. One of the lefty, one of the righty. They're doing it. I believe they'll push each other. Because what would be better than winning the World Series with your brother? So yeah, the Giants could get another pitcher. Stop with this whole relief pitcher starting the game type bullshit. That's not how baseball. No teams won the World Series with that type of putting those type of stunts. And don't try to be the first. Stop being cheap. Y'all got the money. Go get it. Go spend it. For real. Stop fucking around. Let's go get this. All right. Now for basketball. Last time I spoke, I did this shit. I talked about Jordan Poole and how I never want to see him in the Warriors jersey again. And it happened. He got traded. He got traded to the Washington Wizards for Chris Paul. What do I think about that move? Chris Paul, he shouldn't be starting with the Warriors. I mean, how are you gonna have two guards, especially Paul? Like, I know who you're as a person. Even myself, I'm getting up there in age, and I still feel young or whatnot, but my ID says otherwise. Ditto for you, Paul. Like, you don't feel like you've dropped off or anything like that, but bruh, you're not the Chris Paul from definitely New Orleans, definitely with the Clippers. You're better off just playing in short bursts, all right? And he would be great for the second team because when Jordan Poole was out there running the show, Jordan Poole, he was just like, not just inconsistent, but like he was supposed to be a point guard and he was always stupid, dumbass turnovers, like in critical points of the game, or like pulling up for a quick jumper, like when there's 10 seconds left in the game, like bruh, why? And giving the team a chance to for them to score. Chris Paul, with with Moses Moody and Kuminga, with the other rookie we drafted from Santa Clara. We traded Patrick Beverly, who I never saw on the court, and I really do like the rookie the player that we drafted out of Indiana. When I saw him play in the NCAA tournament, he was just like a beast. I could see him and Chris Paul hooking up for hella lobs, blocking. He's only 6'9", so he's undersized for like the big man position. But I just like the way he produced. He went to school for 4 years, so he's definitely an upgrade from the other bigs that we had in the bench. Like I said, Chris Paul. One thing I will give to him is that every team that he's gone to has been a winner. The year he got traded to Oklahoma City, nobody had any expectation for him. He was just like, they acquired him like, all right, they wanted draft picks. All right, we'll take on Chris Paul's salary just because. But we really wanted was the draft picks, and he made them a playoff team. The Suns before Kevin Durant got there, the Suns sucked, and he turned him into a winner. He plays winning basketball, like for whatever diminishing skills that he's had. His knowledge of the game, is like he should have a PhD. Um, Hopefully he will get, tone down the ego, cause bruh, this is like your swan song. You want to win a championship, or do you want to make the All Star team? You made all the All Star team. So if you're putting up your stats, um, if that's what you want. That's not what we need you to do. We don't need you to run the team. We need you to run the bench squad. Bring some stability. And then in the fourth quarter, you'll be out there. You'll be out there with Curry. You'll be out there with Thompson. You'll be out there with Green. You'll be out there with Wiggins. Because even though lack of height, the Warriors on offense, they're gonna score. So as long as we stop the other team more than they stop us, which is not gonna be, we're gonna be a problem. Because now Curry can run off the ball. Thompson, he's obviously a catch and shoot. And Chris Paul and Draymond Green on a pick and roll. Oh man, Chris Paul could pretend like he's gonna go drive, but he's really gonna kick it out, or the handoff to Draymond Green, and Draymond Green is like a nice passing big man. Congratulations, Draymond, on your contract. And then Wiggins had all that time off before he came back for the postseason, but he's our most athletic player that we have. And I could see him just like being the recipient of Chris Paul bounce passes when he's cutting to the rim, or just on the alley oop. I'm excited. I'm excited about the possibility with this current Warrior squad, and then we signed Dario Saric for the low. He tore his ACL with the Suns. So, and I even wrote about it before in my past that it takes about 2 years from after torn ACL or torn Achilles for players to start really feeling like themselves again. And he could shoot. I don't. He's a big, not in the sense like he could get rebounds and stuff like that, but he could definitely stretch the floor because the team's gonna have to respect his ability to hit from outside. And if they choose to ignore that, then they'll just be raining buckets. Kevin Looney, he'll do the dirty work as usual. GP, he'll be like a fly, just wherever, just in the passing lanes, D'ing up the opposing team's best backcourt player. Wiggins, he could hold it down on the wing. And Kuminga, bro, you have the most potential on the squad. Like when you came into the league, you already look like a veteran. You already built like LeBron with your height and body. Take it to the next level, bro. Take this opportunity with Chris Paul and soak game up. Work on your jumper, work on your defense, and stop having terrible body language. That's why Steve Kerr bench your ass, because if you're not getting the ball, you don't want to go play or some shit like that. You can make a difference in the game, and your stats might not reflect it, but if you hustle for the ball or you run up and down the court, the ball will come to you, or you getting rebounds. On different nights you could win games in different ways. Maybe one night you do get your 30 points, but maybe another night you get those 10 rebounds, or maybe the other night you just put up good D. But whatever you do, man, do what's best for the team. That's what, you'll get yours, man. You'll get yours on this squad. You will get yours. But you need to be on the court to do that, and you need to just be a team guy instead of a me guy. Congratulations, Draymond, bro, on your contract. I wrote that the Warriors should traded you for the player from the Atlanta Hawks player, John Collins. But that's because Draymond, anytime the Warriors defense is just like a matador, like teams are just like ole, ole, ole. I put it on you. Even if you're not on the court and you're hurt, it's on you, bruh. The defense, Curry's responsible for the offense. You're responsible for the defense. Anytime there's a lack of hustle, I put it on you because you're the heart and soul of the team, and the Warriors didn't start winning championships until you got there and you set the tone, man. So I appreciate it if you could, hold it down, like, hold everybody accountable. That's why Jordan Poole, with that little thing that happened with Jordan Poole, he was being a little bitch. Like, he should have punched you back. You're on the same team, like, okay, now we're even. But he didn't let it go. He should have just punched you back one time, like, just like, you should have just like fallen on his knuckles or something, like. He was running his mouth. That's what happened. He got chin checked. But now that distraction's not there, I feel like if Lonnie Walker hadn't gone on that little out of nowhere run in the fourth quarter, the Warriors could have beat the Nuggets. I still believe the Warriors could beat the Nuggets. The Clippers are never gonna be healthy enough. The Suns, they have 4 great players, but nobody else, and obviously one of them is gonna get hurt. I like let other teams underestimate us. Let us fly under the radar. But by the end of the season, we'll be there like we've always been. Lastly, with my 49ers, with training camp about to start, I'm still a huge Trey Lance guy. Sam Darnold, we already know what he is. He's a career backup. He didn't produce with New York. He didn't produce in Carolina. What makes you think he's going to produce right here in San Francisco? Like, Kyle Shanahan maybe might work his magic, but I wouldn't stack all my chips on that. Brock Purdy, thank you. You came out of nowhere, led us to the playoffs, so we got hurt. I feel we would have beat the Eagles if you had been healthy. And yeah, maybe I should give you more credit. But I just feel like Lance, the Niners shouldn't give up on him. They thought that he was more mobile than what he is. He's not a fast sprinter. He's long-legged. It takes a while, but he can lower the shoulder, lower the boom, and he has a strong-ass arm. Like, he could throw a 50-yard. That's what's been lacking with the Niners offense, like a deep pass, like, or like a 25-yard, just post, just like, boom, put it in the numbers, like in stride. And now we got McCaffrey for a full season, so the possibility for play action and like deep bombs to Ayuk, I keep reading that he's ready to break out. Debo, you gotta stop. You got your bag, man. Now put back the numbers. Play hungry again. And then Kittle's gonna be Kittle. He's gonna catch. He's gonna block. He's gonna just be a madman on the football field. The offensive line, McGlinchey, he left via free agency. Perfect. That's gonna be less holding calls. But that right side of the line, that's the weakest link on the Niners offense. As far as defense goes, we signed defensive tackle from the Eagles. His name escapes me right now, but we weakened our opponent while we made ourselves stronger. Nice. Fred Warner, of course, is going to be a beast. Bosa is going to be Defensive Player of the Year again. He eats and breathes football. He's like a Frankenstein football quarterback. That's all he does. Like, I respect that. He's dedicated. As far as our corners, Mooney Man, he was great. Free agent signing last year. I think he's only going to get better. Lenore, for being a 5th round pick, is solid. Womack, as a slot corner, he hopefully improves. Ofunga, I call him Waka Waka, came out of nowhere. He should only get better. Gibson, he's good there for a year, but really he's there for the rookie. I really like the rookie that they drafted out of Penn State. Hopefully he's not a 2nd round pick like Taylor Mays and turns out to be a bust. but he's like Waka Waka or Hufunga. He's like a solid tackler, but he has better ball better recognition of the ball when it's in flight, and he's just a more better athlete. So I'm not going to spend as much time on the Niners, even though they're my favorite sports team, because there's no need to talk about it. We're going to win the NFC West. Like, we're going to be there in the playoffs. Like, as long as nobody gets hurt, and if all things are the same, we're going to be back playing January football, and hopefully we get one for the thumb. But I'm excited about the Niners start to the season. Let's go get that for the thumb. This is your boy Roy El Trapo, AK 415. No cap Deportes. Adios.